You know, there is something really, really, really strange. And you're going to say, Leggy man, I've been to this channel before. Everything's strange, especially that Johnny Leg. You know what? I don't really have an argument against that. In fact, yeah, I'll give you that one. He is strange. But let me tell you, there is something really strange about my collection. What is it, Leggy? What's strange? I have a massive, massive collection. I mean, it grows every day. That's a crazy thing. It's like getting bigger and bigger. But you know what? I do not have one single bottle, full bottle of Prada fragrance. You're going to go, Leggy man, what's wrong with you? You've got to have at least something like Prada An or something like that. I can't really pin it down exactly, but you know, the strange thing is, every time I have a mindset, I'm going to buy a bottle of Prada, there is always just something that sort of stops me. You know, alright, I'll be honest with you, it's not because they're not all crazy good fragrances, because you know what, the majority of Pradas are just very, very wearable, easy wear, crazy good, crowd pleasing kind of fragrances. It's not that reason. And it's not because they don't smell like a quality fragrance, because they do. Prada fragrances are designer, but sort of top-end designer, so they smell amazing good quality. It's not because they don't perform, because the majority of them perform, you know, you get good distance out of it. They're not all day kind of fragrances, but you get what you would kind of expect for a designer fragrance. It's not any of those reasons in particular. And we'll come to that in a minute. Now, I've kind of got a little bit lost in the ocean of Prada Ocean. Alright, it's Prada Luno Rosso Ocean. Now I've kind of got lost of all the different ones. There's different strengths and there's different, whether it's, I mean, we're going to be looking at the Eau de Parfum today. Alright, I mean, I've also got here the Eau de Toilette. We'll come to that some other time. Alright, I will first of all say that the Prada Ocean Luno Rosso Eau de Toilette is really quite different to the Eau de Parfum. I mean, yes, I've sprayed them earlier. And kind of, yeah, I kind of see the DNA's maybe slightly there. But, alright, it's not realistically completely recognisable as, oh, that's another Luno Rosso Ocean. Alright. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about Eau de Parfum. I've already sprayed it earlier, but I'm going to spray it again. So how do you get into this thing? Oh yes, it's not a full bottle, so it's like one of these samples, little card, you slide it out, and you've got this little squeaky thing. You ready? I can still spray professionally, even with one of these. Oh boy. So, Prada Ocean Luno Rosso, if I'm saying any of this right, I think I've got the Prada bit right and the Ocean bit right. Eau de Parfum. Alright, what does it smell like? I've got the first spray and I've got the dry down. Okay. This smells high quality. Tick that box. This smells deep and rich and sharp. It's very attention grabbing. Tick that box. I didn't even know that was a box, but let's tick it anyway. Okay, now it is sharp, woody, in particular amber. In fact, alright, describing this Eau de Parfum, can't even see it, can you? If I was to describe the Eau de Parfum, I would describe it as a very piercingly sharp amber bomb. It is amber rich. Seriously. Okay, well let's talk about the actual sort of notes in it. There's not that many notes. It's a very, very basic fragrance. Right. Top shelf of Prada Ocean Luno Rosso Eau de Parfum. Man, that's a mouthful. You know what I'm on about. This one. Right, on the top shelf you have a grapefruit. Now, normally with a grapefruit, it's kind of like sparkling, you know, almost fizzes, it sort of hits you around the face, it's sort of a summer sort of vibe, and this one is not that. Okay, this is like a grapefruit, that's had its sense of humour removed. Okay, there is a tiny, tiny sparkle to the grapefruit, but essentially it's kind of like a moody grapefruit. It just sits there. It's just grapefruit. There's very little sparkle to it. It's just a slightly citrus, sort of dull citrus. It's very muted. You know, something like, what's it, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. I mean, that's grapefruit, bang, in your face. This one isn't. This just sits there kind of a little bit moody, as though, I don't know what I'm doing in this fragrance, but I'll do something, and it just sort of sits there. Drop down, and essentially you've got a gorgeous amount of sharp vanilla, and it's sharpened because the woods, I mean the woods is just pure on fire. It's almost smouldering amber. All right, now I love amber. Amber. Give me amber all day long. Okay, so why haven't I gone and bought this? Because I've got the sample, I've worn it quite a bit. Can you see? Yes, I'm about 3/4 of the way down this sample. And this, I've got to be honest, it's a very, very easy wear. Now, why it's called Ocean, I don't know. I don't know whether Ocean is supposed to mean it's like, smells a bit like a sea breeze sort of thing. I don't get that at all. There's nothing in this fragrance that tells me ocean or seaside or anything like that. There's no salty, aquatic sort of notes or whatever. Realistically, it is a sharp, deep, piercingly woody amber fragrance. Okay, with a tiny fizzle of citrus at the top. Why haven't I gone and bought this fragrance? Is it the performance? You know what, the performance is pretty good. I'm not going to say it's wild. I'm not going to say it fills rooms and blocks radio signals and all that sort of thing. It's not. It's just very average designer sort of performance. I get on my average non-oily, non-dry, whatever Anglo-Saxon kind of skin, I get about 4.5 to 5 hours of this fragrance. It doesn't project wildly. It sits quite close, and I've got to be honest, it's a scent bubble for about 4 hours. Skin, pretty much all day. Clothes, pretty much all day. Okay, it's when people come in quite close to you, you will get compliments. It is a very, very easy wear. There's nothing challenging about it. There's nothing where it's a rogue note and you go, oh, I don't know if people are going to like this. This Rossa Ocean Eau de Parfum is a very, nearly dropped it then. What was I worrying? It's not even a bottle, it's a box. It's not even a box, it's a silly cardboard sleeve around a sample. Anyway, I was just worried then. Okay, why haven't I gone and bought it? Well, here's the real reason. I've already got it. Hey, doesn't make sense, Leggy. Invictus Victory. I love, give me Invictus Victory all day long. You know what, when Invictus first came out, I was like, I kind of got the sort of fruity woody vibe. I kind of got that and I liked it, but I didn't go out and buy a bottle. It wasn't until a few Invictuses down the line that they launched Victory, which is, to be honest, nothing really to do with the original Invictus Victory. Sorry, nothing to do with the original Invictus. As soon as I smell this, let's go for it. I've got to spray this one. Massively into this one. Oh boy, that got me interested in the Invictus lineup. Now, realistically, although it doesn't look it, these two are almost a spit. So Prada, let's do the whole thing again, you ready for this? Prada Ocean Luna Rosso Eau de Parfum is pretty much the same, 90% the same as Invictus Victory. So there's absolutely no reason for me to go out and buy a full bottle of this Prada, because I have my true love here, Invictus Victory. Now, Invictus Victory, it differs slightly because the vanilla is less sharp, the amber is just as rich and heavy and piercing, and at the top, in this, there is almost, well, I'm not going to say there's a real sparkle at the top, but there's a fizzle at the top of Invictus Victory, which I'm guessing is like a little bit of citrus. See, the moody grapefruit in this, it just doesn't really do anything. It tries to do something, but it just sort of sits there. The fizzle at the top of Invictus Victory, just for me, gives it the edge. So why on earth would I go out and spend 65, 70 British pounds on 100ml of this little Prada Rossa Ocean, whatever it is, of the perfume, when I've got this one? Personal opinion, if you have neither of these fragrances, let's get it the right way up, Leggy, try and stay professional. So if you have neither of these fragrances and you would like a very easy to wear, sharp, rich, compliment gathering fragrance, which is, I'm going to say, better suited really for the sort of cooler weather, because how rich and sharp and piercing it is, and woody, I would personally go with the Invictus Victory, because that is my passion. Okay, the Prada's good, and you know what, they're both a similar sort of price. For the 100ml, you'll spend both of these between 60 and 70 British pounds. Okay, so similar price, similar performance. I find that the Invictus Victory does go a little bit further than the Prada, but it's negligible, whatever that word is. It's very little difference. I think that's what that word means. But realistically, I'm going to stick with my Invictus Victory. That is my passion, and whilst this is very similar, there's absolutely no point. Okay, so if you've got Invictus Victory, please do not go out and buy Prada, Rossa, whatever her name is, Ocean de Perfume, because you'll go, oh, I've already got it. Okay, I've just saved you 70 quid. Okay, remember me for that. Right then, I'm going to love you and leave you now, but before I go, I need to thank you ever so much for coming to this review. I'm just a crazy random guy. I'm not monetized, I'm not sponsored, I'm not attached to anything except for gravity, which holds me down, which is good. Okay, I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, I insist that you choose a good fragrance. Whichever one you choose, spray it all day long, every day, and I'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, keep spraying. Goodbye.